Hi, this is Pete Byrne from Naked Eyes, and you're listening to the New Wave Music Podcast. Always something there to remind me.
You're tuned into the New Wave Music Podcast, your go-to destination for exclusive interviews, album reviews, and the latest music news. And now, here's your host, Steve.
Welcome back to the New Wave Music Podcast. My guests today are Susan and Ted Ottaviano from the legendary synth-pop band Book of Love. Emerging from the vibrant 1980s alternative music scene, Book of Love created a sound that blended infectious melodies, electronic textures, and thoughtful songwriting, helping define an era of synth-pop and alternative dance music. Now, as Book of Love celebrates the 40th anniversary of their landmark debut album, they prepare to hit the road with the original lineup for a special anniversary tour. We're taking a look back at the band's incredible journey, the stories behind the music, and the legacy they've built over 4 decades. Ted and Susan, thank you so much for joining me here today. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you.
It's great to be here.
Hi, Steve.
So as you celebrate 40 years of Book of Love, I'd love to start at the beginning. Can you tell me how the band first came together?
Ted and I are from the same hometown, and we both went to different art schools. But during that time period, Ted was creating music, and we were going to New York City and seeing bands, and we were starting to make music of our own. We were definitely fans of the post-punk scene, and we, like I said, went to clubs, and then we started our own band when I moved to New York City in 1983. And Jade Lee from the band is from Philadelphia College of Art, where I went to art school, and Lauren Roselli from our band is from School of Visual Arts, where Ted went to school.
While we were in high school, I used to go over to Susan's house, and her basement, her father built a little stage in her basement.
Busted.
And we used to actually do this little thing where I would be on keyboards and she would be on vocals, and we basically did a make-believe little band there that started us all out. And then when we went to art school, we got serious to make it be a real band.
So the name Book of Love instantly is recognizable today. How did you guys land on the name for the band?
Oh my God. How did
We had a lot of different name ideas, and I'm glad that this one is the one that we ended up choosing, because some of the ideas, one of which was mine, was not very good. But I think that what it turned out to be is, I think for the time period as well as our music, it just really suited what we did. We were looking.
There was kind of such a new romantic period at that point.
Yeah.
There's something really romantic about this idea of a book of love. I mean, we got it from the song title, but it had nothing to do with the original doo-wop song, Book of Love. It just was kind of this notion of a book of love that we just thought felt right.
So in the early days, can you tell me maybe dive into what artists or records that were inspiring you as the most as you were developing the band's sound?
Well, when I was in art school, I used to listen to there was so much great music coming from the UK at that point, all of the post-punk stuff and the early synth-pop stuff, and I ate it up. But basically, I listened to the album Low, by David Bowie. It was just kind of the wallpaper in my life at that point. It's just I listened to it incessantly. And I'm saying this because in the last week I've been listening to Low incessantly again. It's
Really
remained. Yeah, I really have been. It's remained a mainstay in my life. So, I mean, what would you say, Susan?
Well, a lot of our influences were the bands we were seeing or the bands we were dancing to at clubs. We would go to see the Ramones and the B-52s and the Plasmatics and the bands that were playing at the clubs. And then there was a lot of music from the UK that we were listening to. They were singles that were just, they talked about, there were these shows called Off the Boat, where somebody would meet the boat and get the records and play it on, alternative stations. I mean, it wasn't possible to have something from the UK just, emailed over. They had to take the records over on the boat, and that's how we started to hear a lot of the music, like Susie and the Banshees and The Cure, bands like that.
I mean, these are staples now, even in America. But at that point, there was kind of a bit of a roadblock for like a lot of this like new music coming out of England, especially the synth-driven music. I mean, we initially, when we started as a band, we had to like fight the fact that we didn't have a live drummer and a guitar player. Like that was kind of like almost taboo for a lot of American audiences, mainstream audiences. It seems silly now, but it really was an issue back then.
Yeah, I remember those good old import bins from the record stores. That's the way to get the music those days.
Yeah, and you might even buy it without hearing it because it was a different time.
Good artwork. You choose records sometimes based on the artwork.
Well, congratulations on the 40th anniversary of the debut album. When you look back at that record today, what emotions come to mind?
Go on, Ted.
I just can't believe we pulled it off. It's like when I just think of like, I mean, I've been going over the tracks to get ready for the live shows, and it's just like, it's kind of mind-boggling, like kind of just how much content there was on that first album. And we were so new to the whole thing. I mean, we basically pulled it off, I guess.
Well, it's like a roadmap because I'm practicing as well, and we're doing more songs from the first album than we've ever done. And I feel like it's a roadmap to our life, our relationships during that time period, Ted. It's like, it brings it all back.
So did you ever, when making that album, did you ever imagine songs from that album would still be connecting to listeners 4 decades later?
I mean, we couldn't even imagine being 40, let alone the album being 40.
It's crazy. It's our fans are so great. I mean, they barely stuck with us, and but I had no idea what to expect. Like with coming out with this 40th anniversary, and the reception's been so warm, and it's been great, and weirdly enough, like almost better than ever.
So looking back at 1986, what do you remember most vividly about making the album?
The fact that we had to do it all on overnight.
Yeah. We really did the album in like three, when you say like in 3 parts. So like the end part was sort of like the main part, and that was more like regularly being in the recording studio. But the first 2 parts were singles, and like Ted was trying to say, they got a deal at a Unique Recording where we worked, so that we had to work from like, I don't know, 9 p.m., something like 7 p.m. to like 7 a.m. or something.
Yeah, we were in there like all night long, and like, but you know what? I was on so much adrenaline at that point. I didn't care. I just, it was just such an amazing experience. I mean, if you listen to the demo of Boy, the parts are almost identical to the actual final recording, but the production, the sound quality, and just being in a pro studio, it just magnified it, and just like, it's
Tenfold.
Well, the song Boy was one of the tracks that first introduced Book of Love to audiences. What inspired that song, and why do you think it continues to resonate today?
What inspired it is that we lived in the East Village, like in the 80s, which was a really amazing time to live in the East Village. It was like the artists and the musicians that were up and coming, like so many notable people, and there was also like the AIDS crisis happening at the same time. And so there was like this great energy and this surge of creativity, but also a darkness to the whole thing, like an underpinning to the whole experience. We used to go out like to the local clubs there. The Pyramid Club was just like, for us, it was where actually the Pyramid Club is responsible for us getting signed, because Ivan was a DJ there, and he got our demo tape because we used to go to the Pyramid to hang out all the time. But while the pyramid was happening, a new gay bar called the Boy Bar opened in the East Village, and it was weird. It was the first for a neighborhood that was so inclusive. All of a sudden, we had this really cool bar that was exclusive, and it wouldn't allow women in. And like half of the people that we hung out with were women, the other half were men, and we were all of a sudden our friends weren't allowed to go into the bar. And so I wrote this little song just about this story about this girl who wanted to go to a gay bar and she wasn't allowed. And it just, for some reason, it just clicked with people. It continues to trigger people in ways that I don't even understand sometimes. It's got a Buddha to it.
It's a metaphor for feeling like you don't belong.
Exactly.
Another song, I Touch Roses, remains one of the band's signature tracks. Why do you think listeners have connected so deeply with this song for so many years?
The song it's a real it's a real visceral visual lyric, but it ultimately is all about empowerment and about like searching for your own inner voice and empowering yourself to sort of touch any roses in your life and make them bloom. And so I think it had a similar message that Boy has. It's just basically cloaked in a much more psychedelic lyric, but it's in a weird way the same sort of message. Don't you think, Susan?
Yeah, and it was the soundscape of what Book of Love became. How we ended up like having this kind of look. Soundscape is a good word to use. It musically it defined what Book of Love was to become.
That's true.
Another song on your debut album that I have to ask you about is You Make Me Feel So Good. It has such an uplifting energy. What inspired this song?
Well, I think this was more of a quirky love song. This is one of the, I'm not exactly remembering exactly how we wrote this song, but it's just a sort of, like I said, quirky love song, very up and very excited again. What would you say, Ted?
I remember how we wrote it. Like,
yeah,
we were actually just playing around in the rehearsal studio, and like I had the track, and you were just singing. You make me feel, and you didn't like say the actual last word, and I was like, "Wow, what's the word that she's going to come back with? It's going to be something amazing, I bet." And then you finally said "good," and I was like, after all that long, I thought it was so interesting and funny that she said the word "good." And I was like, that's the song. And we just and then you finished the whole other lyric around it. It's kind of in a weird way, probably the most mainstream song we have on that first album.
It's definitely the most happy love song, right? That we have probably in our whole catalog.
It's our only happy song. They're all.
Well, one of your songs, Lost in Your Eyes from the album, also appears on the soundtrack to John Hughes' classic Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. What was it like learning your music would be featured in that film?
I think his
It was,
daughter was a fan of ours. Wasn't that the story, Susan?
no, the Molly Ringwald thing.
What's
Molly
it-
Ringwald tried to get it in Pretty in Pink, and we didn't get that. So we were going to use it. He was going to use another track for his next film, and it turned out to be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Or I probably didn't
we
forgot.
both remember different things, and hopefully one of our versions is true.
I said, I like your version. I hope it's true.
Yeah, but Modigliani was our tribute to a painter that we really loved, Emilio Modigliani. So that's what that's who that song is about.
Well, the debut album contains so many fan favorites beyond the singles. Are there any deep cuts that you feel deserve more attention?
Happy Day. I just love it to death. And it's just like, I mean, it's only 2 minutes long, but it's just 2 minutes of just perfection. And we've never done a show and not have played it. Every show we've ever done, we've played it in, and it's because it's really a band favorite, I would say.
We're also doing a few songs that we've never done before. At least we don't think we have. We might have done White Lies before.
Once.
Well, we only had one album, so we might have really done it for the first tour. I just don't really remember.
How many songs did we do on Depeche Mode? Did we do like?
Well, we probably didn't do it on Depeche Mode, but we did a whole headlining tour before or with the first album. So we had to have at least 10 or 12 tracks.
I guess so.
I'm glad we could work this out on your show.
Well, your follow-up album, Lullaby, opens with your take of the classic track Tubular Bells. And I love how it flows directly into Pretty Boys and Pretty Girls. What can you tell me about the creation of those tracks? And was it always your intention to have Tubular Bells seamlessly transition into the next track?
I love that too. Thanks for mentioning it, Steve. I started working on Tubular Bells. I don't know. I must have just saw the movie or whatever, but I mean, the music in The Exorcist is so amazing. And it's like the way that song works in the movie, it's so great. And I think everybody was late to practice that day, and I was playing around and doing something with it. And by the time Susan came in, she was like, "What are you guys doing?" And it was apparent that it was like kind of a crazy idea, but our version worked. And so basically,
I think I thought that when we were in the studio too. I felt like, what are you guys doing?
I know it's pretty crazy. And it had such a kind of for the time that it was there, it had a real 80s like dance spot to it, and it just felt like there was another song that basically could come out of it. And so I just started writing Pretty Boys and Pretty Girls like with that bass line, and then the song developed into its own thing.
Pretty Boys and Pretty Girls became one of the defining songs, I think, of Book of Love.
I just close my eyes and I dream about pretty boys and pretty girls. Pretty boys and pretty girls.
Looking back, what do you think made that song connect so strongly with audiences?
Well, it was one of the first songs. We were told it was the first song by a major label artist to address the AIDS crisis.
In 1991, you released Candy Carol, which features the outstanding track and my personal favorite, Alice Every Day.
every day brings her friends over to my house to play. Alice every day. Alice every day. Millicent and Gwendolyn, Drusilla and Vivian, Penelope and Cinnamon, Constance and Evangeline.
What do you remember writing and recording about that song?
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that because Susan and I have been talking about that album a lot. It's like that's for our career, Candy Carol is our most misunderstood thing that we've done. For some reason, like there's a disconnect with some of our fans, and some of our fans it's their favorite, but like some of our fans don't. It doesn't seem to click with us quite the same way. So much so that we've been actually toying with the idea to go back and sort of just rework some of it that we sort of feel like, you know, we've always felt it wasn't totally completed in the way that like we would have wanted it to be. So Alice Every Day was basically the track that sort of stood out as most likely the first single. And I have to say it's probably, I would say Susan's like top 3 performances. It's like has an amazing vocal to it.
Ted, do you remember that was a late entry? That came during the recording of the album. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I'm actually excited, like that we're gonna bring that one back for the live show this year. So I'm excited to do it again. It's a fun track. Is anything you want to say about Candy Carols, Susan? Or you like want to keep it moving?
It's our misunderstood. It's like Boy. It's an outsider and it's not understood by everybody. It wants to be where the other albums were, but sometimes it wasn't allowed. We would like to remix it. This is the first I've heard that Ted said we want to rework it. But, that's exciting.
In
Cool.
1993, you followed that up with Love Bubble. What's your strongest memories about making that record, and where do you feel that maybe that fits in within the band's catalog?
My strongest memories are we survived it, right, Ted?
Yeah, it was like really, there was so much going on that was like not clicking with us at that point. We weren't clicking. We were just exhausted. I mean, the 4 of us had really been on the road for the last 3 or 4 years. And it was everything all of a sudden, like the world of Nirvana and 90s music, like
Grunge.
and grunge, like basically came upon us. And we just didn't know where we really fit in anymore. And personally, just from our own places. So in a weird way, I feel like we strangely like sleepwalked through that recording and stuff. Some people love that album, but I'm still trying to fully understand it. It's got some really great tracks on it, but as a whole, it's still a little perplexing to me. I think about that period more than I think about the actual product that we made.
Well, I've always loved your interpretation of sound and vision.
Pale blinds drawn all day, nothing to read, nothing to say. Blue book, I will sit right down, waiting for the gift of sound and vision. I will sing, waiting for the gift of sound and vision. Lifting into my solitude.
What inspired you to cover that particular song, and how did you approach putting your own Book of Love spin on David Bowie's classic?
Well, it's on Low, and we were just talking about Low actually earlier. And David Bowie has just been a hero.
It's David Bowie. I mean, it's like, and it's a song about process as well. It's a song about making music and making art.
Yeah, that's true. He's just been such a northern star for me and the whole band or whatever. So doing a version of Sound of Vision, which we always loved, was just something that we just kind of did almost it was a whimsical thing to do, but then it was like, it's strong, let's put it on the record.
Well, looking across Book of Love's entire catalog, I'd love to ask each of you individually, is there one Book of Love song that stands out especially meaningful to you?
Well, I kind of put I Touch Roses at the top of the list. There's as a member of the band, as a writer, as a singer, you have different kind of things. I might like singing this song better, and I might like listening to this song better. But I think that I Touch Roses is sort of the center of Book of Love, and that makes me happy.
I think that sounds right for me too, as well. I mean, there's been moments like recently I've been thinking about like when we recorded Was a Little Love, like for the Lullaby record that we recorded at St. John the Divine, and just these amazing experiences that we had, like to actually push the music in certain ways. Like I think about actually when I listen to our records, like just they take me back to that of being in the studio and kind of how they kind of came to life. So there's all different reasons that I like each one of them. But I Touch Roses is definitely the sound template for Book of Love. It's just like I think it's got the
Well, again, it's the sound and vision. It's like the centerpiece of like, and that's what we really went for, and that was the most important thing, is the sound and vision of what our voice is and what we were trying to do. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ted.
no, you said it perfectly.
Well, the upcoming anniversary tour reunites the original lineup. How special is it to have all four original members back together for this celebration?
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be interesting. It should be, fun. We haven't worked together like this for many years. They've been different. Jade and Lauren have been involved in different shows over the years, and we've done some reunions. So we're just getting started. We're just starting to go into rehearsals now. So we'll let you know. I hope the tours, we're excited. I mean, the tour is mostly sold out. So pretty much all the dates are sold out. So we want to put on a really good show for everyone.
We went out like as a duo for our 30th and did shows, and the audiences were great, and they were really inviting and really accepted us. But I always knew that what they really wanted to see was a recreation of like that original magic that we had as a quartet. So I'm really happy that we're able to give that to them this time around.
We're going to try to do it one more time, and everybody needs to come.
Exactly. This is a limited time offer.
Yeah.
So every band accumulates incredible stories over the years. If I can ask each of you, what's one memory from the road, the studio, or backstage that fans would be surprised to hear about?
Oh my God.
Well, we had, playing with Depeche Mode, we played some very grand places like Red Rocks, and where we played in Germany, and where we played in Paris. So those were very, very exciting nights. I think the recording of Boy that overnight was just magical. It was just amazing to have that opportunity when we were so young to work in a pro studio. That was really like off limits for people.
I mean, these are the two that are popping up. There's like a number of them. Like one is the fact that we mixed our second album, Lullaby, at Hans
Yeah.
Studio in Berlin.
It's a great one.
Well, we're talking a lot about Bowie today, but like that's where Bowie recorded Hero. We were just like, we're not worthy, I mean, you could just feel the ghosts in that place. You just could feel the gravitas of that studio. And that was an amazing experience. And then for me personally, it's just like I'm a huge fan. More than Susan's like her own person, but like I'm a huge music fan. And so when we did the taping of MTV, Club MTV, they had all the artists that were being like taped in one day. And we happened to do our performance right before the Ramones. And I was able to finally meet Joey Ramone and tell him how important and instrumental and influential he was to our music. And I always just think of like, I was a total fanboy that day, but that was one of I still think I get goosebumps when I think of like that interaction with him.
Also, what Ted said earlier about recording at St. John, the Church of the Organ at St. John the Divine, I wasn't there because I had to do a vocal the next day, and you had to pull an overnighter. But that was like just that we had that. What about when we had the for Lullaby? We had a whole string section, a Juilliard string section that Ted wrote music for, and they were in the studio, recording that part as well as a bagpipe player. That was really exciting.
Yeah, we did some pretty crazy things.
Yeah. I mean, times were different then. We were able to get, that we were able to get the player to wear a kilt to the studio for the vibes.
That's true. We actually
Again, a question for each of you. as we're wrapping up this interview, what accomplishments are you most proud of when you look at Book of Love's legacy today?
I think I'm most proud of the fact of what the music has meant to people. You want to create music and you want to do what, the music has really affected me, and it has changed times it's been very important in so many times in my life. And to be able to do that for other people is the most rewarding thing. And that's what stands 40 years later. That's the most important thing to me.
I think the thing that's still bowls me over is that we ended up becoming to our fans what my heroes were to me as a disenfranchised kid growing up. Like at that point, a young gay kid from the suburbs. I looked to my heroes, and they kind of like almost they were medicinal. They got me through those hard times. And we've been told this countless times and times again from our fans that our music has done that for them as well, especially the first album. So that's an amazing thing. Art is just so healing in so many different ways. And it's amazing that we had a little bit of a moment for our fans to help them through their hard times.
Absolutely.
Well, Ted and Susan, finally, what's the best way for listeners to keep up with the anniversary release, the tour dates, and everything happening with Book of Love going forward?
Susan's
they should follow. They should follow us. What did you say, Ted?
I said your link tree.
Oh yeah, you should follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. Go on our website, bookoflovemusic.com. All the concerts are there. All the information about buying the new album, and all the new things that are coming up for us. We have more things to reveal and report over the next year.
We're not sure if we're going to go back out again. This may just be like our swan song. So we really want people to come out this time. And but what I will say, don't feel sad about that, because we may have a couple of creative cards up our sleeve that we may be coming out with a little surprise for people in the near future.
Definitely looking forward to any surprises from the band. Huge fan. This has been a great interview. Ted and Susan, thank you so much for joining me today. Congrats on the 40th anniversary of the incredible debut album and the upcoming tour. Again, it's been a pleasure revisiting these songs and memories with you, and I wish you nothing but success with the anniversary celebration.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Once again, a big thank you to Ted and Susan from Book of Love for joining me here on the podcast. Looking ahead to the next episode, I'm going to be joined by yet another artist, Jackie Hunt. And if that name sounds familiar, she was behind the band Single Gun Theory. We're going to dive into the history of that band, her involvement with Delirium, and also dive into the brand new solo album that she just released. As always, we hope you join us. If this is your first time listening, we thank you and ask that you please subscribe. That's a great way to support us. And if you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to leave us a 5-star review. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search for New Wave Music Podcast. We'll catch you on the next episode.